Okay, so we're gonna do a little progression for day one. I pussyfooted around with this thing today. I didn't really get too serious on it. And within a couple of hours, you know, I got far bombarding me with customer vehicles and stuff like that, and me not really working a complete full day. I didn't get very much done, but I did get something done. So I'm gonna flip this around and show you what I've got done on this 1.5 Ecoboost so far. We're going a little bit different route this time. I'm gonna start at the bottom, take everything out from underneath the bottom of the car that needs to come out, and then work the top and then drop the motor through. Instead, before I disassembled the things on the top, and it wasn't as really clean of a job. If you remove everything from the bottom, you can kind of let things hang and other things don't get in the way. It's hard to explain, you know, the right way. But anyway, obviously front tires off, passenger side CV axle out. These little frame support pieces that go on each side of the engine bay. One over there, one here. And then the lower shield out. The whole entire rack and pinion, tie rod assembly, sway bar link and everything. You see I got the top of the link loose on each side. And just pulled the bolt out to take the lower control arm out of the knuckle and smack the hell out of the end of it until it started to jar loose, and then I just kind of pried it out of there with some PB Blaster. Went ahead and unhooked the wiring assembly for the power steering rack and left all this as one unit. Pulled the trans mount out of there. You see the bolts missing out of it, and just dropped this whole entire thing down as one piece. And then you got a 15mm bolt in the front and the red mount in the back right there, 21mm bolt. You can look up here and see I've got the exhaust disconnected because I'm going to take all this as one unit down. I pulled this is the power wire and the communication wires for the power rack. I just left that hang off to the side right there. Now I've got this whole clear area right here to work with, nothing in the way. I've got the rotors, the calipers, the strut assembly all still attached, so there'd be no reason to mess with any of that. I unplugged these ABS sensors because most guys don't do it. I do it because I don't like pulling on this knuckle with these sensors attached. It always makes me feel weird that I might break it. So I just go ahead and unclip them and give them some more kind of like wiggle room so they can dangle around. I'll plug them back in when I'm done. This is that CV axle that goes in the passenger side. You got to pull these two 13mm bolts off, take the cap off, and just kind of wiggle the thing right out. It'll come out. Then I'm going to leave this CV axle in. It doesn't actually need to come out of the vehicle. I pulled these wheel shrouds out of the way because there are two 10mm bolts that go right through this bracket area right here, and that's what holds those little arms, the arms that connect from the back of the assembly forward. And there are two 10mm bolts that go through right here, and then there's one that goes forward in that arm. There's a little bolt hole. See if I can get close. There's a little bolt hole right there. So pull all that out, and it's nice to have these shields out of the way when you do it. What else did I get done? It's pretty much it. I pulled this lower hose right here that goes to this coolant pump, and I let as much coolant drain out as I could. I pulled the engine oil out of it and drained all that. I pulled the filter, I drained the filter, and now there's really nothing left but the wiring harness and stuff. So what you do on this motor is these trans lines will stay in the vehicle. These trans lines don't come out. So at this block, I think it's like a 17, 18, 19, something like that. I think it's 17mm. There's a nut at those two trans lines. You just break them loose, crack them off, or pull them out of there, leave them off to the side, put a cap on the end so you don't lose all your fluid, or you can tie them up real high. The next thing I'll do is I'll go ahead and get this out from underneath here. I'll lower the vehicle down. You know what I need to do? I need to pull that power steering rack out of the way before I go any lower. Alright, now that I've got the vehicle back down, I can start working on taking this plastic cowl off of here. I like to get that out of the way so I can see down in there and work. I'm going to go ahead and work on getting this air box out of here, this battery housing and stuff out of here. I'm going to go ahead and unhook the whole entire fuse box, lay this part of the wiring harness over to the side. Then I'm going to, the computer right here, behind that box right there, you just pull these, like, I think it's like T25s or something out of there. You unhook that harness and you drop that harness down, and basically this harness just sits right on top of this engine and goes with it. The coolant hoses almost everything. There's a couple hoses that are stuck down inside in the side of this, which I ain't going to show you guys how to do all that because most of you are not going to be doing this job. But there's two AC lines right here that got to come undone, and then there's two coolant lines right here that got to come undone. And then once you get the table back underneath it and have the engine supported, you can start pulling your motor mounts and stuff out of there. And then you basically almost just drop this engine straight down by itself. There's a couple quick connect coolant lines in the back there. They got to come off, but that'll be my next, that's the next video. So that's as far as I've got on the 1.5 liter Ecoboost escape engine block replacement today. I didn't do very much, but I did get it, you know, somewhat productive. So that's step one. Y'all be blessed. Subscribe to the channel. You know, I see people watching and stuff like that. They get all this free information and stuff from me. They tell me how much I've saved them time and saved them hundreds of dollars and stuff like that. But they don't ever hit the thumbs up, or they don't ever subscribe to the channel. The best thing that you can do outside of paying somebody for, you know, their time and possibly helping you or helping you understand something is subscribe to the channel. Give it a thumbs up if you liked what was there. If maybe you learned something that you didn't know before, or you just appreciate somebody doing these types of videos, support them. Don't just watch the video and then walk away. It's kind of disrespectful, you know. It doesn't really help that person much. Anyhow, thank you all. Appreciate you.